Hi everybody, this is Guro Francis from Filipino Martial Arts School, and today is another episode of Bayani Talk. Hi everybody, this is Guro Francis from Filipino Martial Arts School, and today is another episode of Bayani Talk. So today I'd like to talk about students who don't practice. What do you do? Now first of all, how do you know a student doesn't practice? Students, unfortunately, sometimes they lie. They tell you, no Guru, I practice all the time. But their action doesn't really say their actions doesn't really prove that they practice all the time. So let me give you a little signs on what I look for when a student is not practicing. First of all, they're not coordinated. When they're not being able to move the weapon, the stick, or whatever movement that I'm teaching them, if I don't see them actually progressing into it, or that they actually have a grasp about it, then yeah, they're definitely not practicing. The second telltale sign is when they start doing this. They start looking to their classmates to see what they're doing. The third thing that I look for is, in line with that, is that when they look at their classmate, that they're half a second, if not a whole second, behind to what everybody's doing. So those are the things that I look for when the student is not practicing. Now the question is, what do you do about it? Well, for me, I sit down with every one of the students individually, the ones who don't practice, and then I ask them, tell me, what is your goal in my school? And I change my wording a lot when it comes to those things. Usually I tell my students it's our school, but when I see a student not practicing, I switch it back to my school. Because at this point, I'm trying to establish that they haven't claimed ownership to being a part of the club yet. So I asked them, what are your goals in my school? Now, we've heard this a lot, like, oh, I want to learn self-defense, I want to learn to be able to defend my family, I want to be able to, understand my culture, blah, 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 blah. Those are all really important reasons. But my point here is that when I ask them that, then I tell them, then, if you're really doing this for self-defense, the ability to protect yourself and your loved ones, then why aren't you taking this seriously? If their answer to me is, if they're here to learn about their culture, then again, why aren't they taking this seriously? Ultimately, whatever reason that they give me as to why they're in my club or in my school, I ask them, my rebuttal question is then, how come you're not taking this seriously? Now, usually at this point, they kind of have this shock and awe, like they've just been busted. And I tell them, look, I said, I've been doing this for 20 years, I've been teaching for 10 years. So I know when a student is not practicing. And it's not because I'm saying I need you to be great at it, I just need you to start getting better at it. And no matter how good you are or how bad you think you are, whatever, you will get better if you practice. But if you don't practice, you're not going to progress. And then the next question that I ask my students and if you're not going to practice, if you're not going to take this seriously, then the last question that I'm going to ask you is, why are you in my school then? Because if you're thinking that just because you pay me X amount of dollars every month for me to teach you FMA, yet you're not practicing, yeah, I'm going to kick you out. Now, the last thing I ever want to do is kick out a student. But I definitely want to emphasize here that the reason why I'm saying this is because they're not taking this seriously. And as much as the money helps, the most important thing for me is the development of my students within the Filipino martial arts. And I will not ever give away a belt. They have to earn every single rank. They have to earn every single belt system, or a belt that they earn through my system. And more importantly, I need them to own it. I need it to resonate inside their heart and in their bodies as well. But if they're not going to do that, then I ask them, what are we doing here then? If you think I'm just here to take your money month to month, you got another thing coming. Because to me, the most important thing is your Filipino martial arts development. I learned this when I was in high school, and I'm going to share a little story with you guys that I didn't do very well in high school only because I lost my father when I was 16 years old. So high school was very, very difficult for me. And as a result of that, I started ditching school a lot. Now, I went to a private Christian school, Brethren Christian High School, Go Warriors. But then on the beginning of my senior year, the summer between my junior and senior year, the principal, Mr. Luketic, called my mother and I into his office, and then he said to me, Francis, what are you doing here? What are your goals here? And I said, I want to get a high school diploma. And he goes, well, if you just want to get a high school diploma, you can go to a public school. You can go anywhere. If you want, you can just get your GED online or whatever, right? No, there wasn't online yet, but to adult school. And I said, no, I want a diploma from Brethren Christian High School. And then he basically told me, well, then you have to show me that. Because honestly, Francis, if you're not going to progress, the school is not going to just take your mother's money month to month just because you're not really committed here. When he said that resonated within me, saying that my principal was more interested in my education, and not just my education, but my spiritual development. That he wanted me to take this seriously. That just because my mother was paying him doesn't mean that I could take advantage of it. So as a teacher, I've kind of modeled my school into that fashion, where if a student is paying me, no matter how much they're paying me, if they're not taking their education seriously, then I ask this question: why are you in my school? Now, if they tell me, sir, we're going to work hard, we're going to get better at this, and I'm like, okay, show me. You know, talk is cheap. The proof is in the pudding. Show me. And at this point, I then give them a specific goal that they have to reach within a specific amount of time. And within that time, I am from that moment to the deadline, I start watching them and I start seeing them progress. What they don't know is they think that I'm going to assess them in the end at the deadline. I'm actually been assessing them the whole time. And then let's say I give them 2 weeks to achieve this goal, and then they actually achieve this goal, like they've actually done so much better at it. I sit them down and I say, how do you think you did? And they said, well, I know I could still do this better. I know I could still do this better. Those are music to my ears. They're actually taking this seriously. And then that's when I tell them, well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I am extremely, extremely proud of you. You've worked really hard. And you go, oh, but I haven't really gotten it. I'm not expecting you to get it within 2 weeks. I'm just expecting you to try to get it within 2 weeks. And that's the most important thing, is to see the effort. And I said, and then that's when I switch my verbiage again, because this is your school too. It's not my school, this is your school. And because this is your school, you have to take ownership in it. And then when taking ownership in it, when somebody sees you moving, when they see your movement, they have to say, wow, that's a quality school. My students are my biggest advertiser. They're my walking, talking billboards. And if I don't maintain a high quality, then my students are not going to give me high quality. That's just my thought. How do you guys deal with students who don't practice? Please comment down below. Now, if you're looking for a Filipino martial arts school that does care more about your development and you're within the Riverside County area, please look us up at fmaschool.com. We have classes Wednesdays and Friday. Until then, my name is Guro Francis from Filipino Martial Arts School. Peace out, God bless, and keep swinging them sticks.